This is going to be a long one. Imagine waking up one day withdrawing a large sum of money from the bank to buy a motorcycle. You rent a car, then drive 2 hours to make the purchase. 20 minutes after buying it, while making the return trip home, you're hit by a truck on the highway. While lying on the road bleeding, imagine the thoughts running through your mind. Think of being airlifted by helicopter a few hundred miles to the hospital. You arrive to the emergency unit, and the trauma causes you to have a series of potential debilitating strokes. The attending physicians make the decision to amputate your foot. Within days, gangrene develops, which necessitates additional amputation to remove the infected tissue. You are now unconscious for a number of days. You eventually wake up with the realization that you are missing the majority of your right leg. As you look down, your mind starts to unravel your predicament. In spite of it all, you are thankful to be alive. You thank God for his decision to save you. As you take inventory of the rest of your body, you realize it could have been much worse. The doctors advise you to take a year off to rehabilitate. After 3 months, you decide to return to work. You arrive at your job, sit down at your desk, and are unable to remember any of the commands to operate your computer. Frustration sets in. You have thoughts of giving up and committing the ultimate act that would create your demise. You commence to go through the motions, and thoughts of your spouse, your children, and all of the people you have known and loved over the years cross your mind. You think of how God was with you through it all, and you begin to develop an inner strength. 9 months later, you lose your best friend, lover, and wife of more than 30 years. You make the necessary decisions to peacefully process her transition. You are now alone and falling into the darker regions of the grieving process. Your life consists of 8 hours at work to return home to an empty house full of memories of your best friend. For days you sit in the dark with no TV, music, or human interaction. You are surviving on your faith in God alone. You are trusting that his mercy will sustain you. As the seconds, minutes, hours, and days advance, you endure. Today, having survived 3 years after that faithful date, April 27, 2020, and looking back at life's rearview mirror, I am now convinced God was with me every step of the way. I am now comfortable and confident that Romans 8:28 is a fact. Every day is a challenge. In retrospect, every day of my life was always a challenge that I took for granted. I thank God for all he has done for me. I thank God for all of the people he has placed in my life to help me to cope. I appreciate all of the levels of concern directed my way from everyone. If God gets you to it, he will get you through it.